Adventure and Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
Tongue-wagging, salty waters, grapevine is overflown. The best is yet to follow, as far as rumors go. Mislabeled comeback, I've got dirt underneath my nails. Proofs in the collected knowledge, so keep talking under your breath.
This is Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm here with our next guest, who is a killer punk band. They're going to be playing one of the shows I'm not going to. I'm going to a show on the 6th. You guys will be on the 4th. So let's welcome to the show, The Last Gang. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm heading out to LA early tomorrow morning. So like today's like a kind of a shit show of meeting deadlines and trying to get everything done. You know how that goes before I'll be gone for a while. So my first stop, though, is the final NOFX shows. You guys are playing on the 4th. So that's pretty badass. How does that feel to be playing on one of the final shows ever?
I got a little nervous, actually, this morning. I woke up and I opened my Instagram feed and I saw Karina with Steve hanging out and all the people that are setting up today. And I'm like, oh, shit, it's real. I got kind of a little weirded out today, not going to lie. We haven't been nervous for any of the shows we've done so far across Europe and London, but I don't know, this hits different.
Well, yeah, it's kind of a big deal, but I also think, I'm glad you said that. A lot of people think that artists they never have any kind of stage fright or nervousness, and I think it happens a lot more than people think.
I'm the one that is always like, it'll be fine. We're totally fine. I'm the one that reassures us. Because
you're the cucumber, the cool cucumber.
Yeah, it's scary, but this is everything we've ever dreamed of. So you can't look at it that way. You have to be present and try and enjoy the ride because it goes so quick too. That's the thing. It moves so fast up there.
Oh, totally. And see, that's the way I look at it, and I experience it too. If I'm doing a speaking engagement or going on the radio, it's like you're nervous until the minute that mic turns on.
Yep.
And then you're just somewhere else.
Yeah, I kind of compare it to that scene in Old School where Will Ferrell gets up and he does his debate. And he gets into it and he kills it. And he's like, what happened? I just blacked out. What's going on? Sometimes I'll get like that. I'll get so nervous and excited that when we hit the stage, I just black out and I'm like, I did it. What just happened?
I know, right? And then there's that other part of it too, where people tell you how great you did afterwards and you're really thinking that you actually sucked.
Oh, all the time.
Every time. We do though.
Hard.
I love that.
Shittiest band.
I know, right? Well,
what I was going to say about anxiety really quick is that I think I have more anxiety about going to the grocery store than I do playing shows. I'm very lucky that I look at it as fun still. So
yeah, it's also your own domain, right? It's the grocery store is not your domain, but when you're doing music for a while, it's that becomes your domain. So that is your comfort zone.
Right. When I get with my buds, we're on stage and I see everyone having a good time, I'm zen den, full.
But see, it's not fair because you get to see it from behind and get to see your friends. I get to just stare at the crowd with blank stares staring at me. I'm like, fuck.
I see both.
Fuck. Yeah. Every once in a while, me and Sean will be like, all right, we're dancing, we're having fun. But no, I just see terror. Yeah.
So I have this pretty cool trick that I learned for doing speaking engagements where you basically look right here in the middle of the forehead, right above the eyes.
You look right here.
Yeah, there you go. That too. But because it looks like you're looking right into their eyes, and
Hey.
you're not. And so everybody thinks, oh my God, they're focusing on me. And really, you're trying to focus on nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that a lot. Like a couple of the shows we did in the UK. I mean, we had some really good crowds, but some of the people there have never seen us before, and we got some really good advice from this band called Itchy. Like, people are there to see you. Just because they're not dancing doesn't mean they don't want to watch you.
Right.
But sometimes you see them and they're just standing there, and it's so like nervous. So yeah, I stare right here. I stare right behind the person, like pretending there's another person there, and that's who I'm
Nice.
talking to. And yeah, the shows turned out well.
That's why I've heard. Like, I've heard from bands that in Japan it can be kind of weird because they are like totally into the music, but they just stand and stare at you, but they're totally into it.
Yeah.
And that would weird me out.
Yeah,
To be
whatever.
honest.
To like clap
You're here.
or, like, or interact with us. Like I feel like that's when we understand that they're just watching, but like some crowds are sleepy, and those are the ones that we fear the most, when they're just like,
You bought a ticket? Buy my shit? I don't care.
yeah.
Good attitude. I love it. And in buying your shit, they have to get the new album because that's important.
You have to.
We sold out of when we did the UK tour. The last show, we had one left, and we were completely
Wow.
out. That was a cool feeling.
I thought you were gonna say like, oh, we sold out. Our next tour is like an arena tour. Like
Yep, absolutely. Sold out. We're going to go into Northampton. We got a bus. I don't give a fuck.
I heard Fat Mike is just handing over Punk and Drublic to you, and now you're now the headliners
Yeah.
from now on.
We
Yes,
are Punk and Drublic.
Spread that rumor. Spread that rumor.
That's what we're doing right now. So tell us about the newest album. Came out on the 20th. And so it says a lot that you sold it out, though. So people must really love it.
Yes.
I'll let you guys.
Yeah, I feel like it's got similar vibes of what has been done before with this band, but represented in a new way, and matured and more put together and methodical with how we're doing things. So yeah, it's a fun record, I think.
Well, the way you're saying it, too, I think of it this way, okay? So you're not straying away from who you are, but you're just getting better at who you are.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
it's
favorite
developed.
phrase is, they've heard me say this a couple times. Fans don't want to see you change, but they do want to see you grow.
I love that. And it's true.
We try.
It's true because, like, there's bands of mine that are my favorites that I love their original, like, garage type stuff. And I don't really want them to change from that, but I do want them to evolve from that.
Some really cool bands that would be awesome to try to emulate and like do what they did, whether you like them or not. Like look at AFI, like how they started, right? And to where they're right now, like night and day. But it was an easy evolution where fans were taken on that journey, and they grew even a bigger fan base because their style had evolved and they got new fans. So I think if we could do something like that, that would be really fucking cool.
Well, with like AFI, to touch on that, is like you knew that they had that stuff in them, but they were representing it this way, and they eventually kind of got to where I think they were supposed to be sonically.
Yeah.
Kind of developed into where they have been, and they do touch light in like old sounds sometimes, but it's never the same, and I really appreciate bands that can do that.
Well, I think we did that on this album. I like how we had like Dogmatic Capitalizer, which is, it's a weird layout, but the quality of it is just, fucking punk, fast, angry. And then on the same album, you could have something like Berlin to Rome, where that's not even the same genre, but it works and it makes sense together.
Now, see, I'll give you an example of one that was really bad, to your point of the change. Way back when Discharge put out a hair metal album. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And it was like such a far departure that it didn't sound like Discharge at all. It should have just been
Yeah.
a new band name,
Yeah.
is what it
Look
should
at
have
look at TSOL too.
been. Yeah, another
They had
one.
a short few album era of like the hair metal thing, which they don't really claim now anyway. That's kind of like a forgotten era that they don't really represent.
Thank
But,
God.
yeah, I also really back bands that take risks.
I agree with that.
Like at that time, they could have easily just not made that in that scene, which they didn't. But they did that instead of like making a couple of shitty punk records.
Yeah.
Like at least they were doing something with what they wanted. It seemed like.
I agree
But
with
on
that.
this side as well.
I think the band that made a departure from genre without making a departure that did it great was DRI. You know, because you even take the first two albums, they're the exact same songs, but the first album's like 10 times faster. So they made the songs from punk to like thrash, and I like both.
And then the quintessential, the Clash,
Yeah.
typical working class punk from the UK, and then you get like something like Sandinista, where not all songs were good. There's a lot of like, let's pass them up B-sides, but it was a lot of gems in there too, and they were trying to grow.
Yeah. And I have no problem with a band trying to grow, for sure. You know, and I think artists should be allowed to experiment. Like as you are a musician longer, it's kind of boring if you're going to do the exact same thing over and over again for you, the artist, I think.
Yeah, especially for yes, the artist, but just the fans. I don't want to. There are some bands, out there that have put out albums, and it's just I stopped listening like 5 or 6 ago because it's like it's not interesting. You're just rehashing.
Yeah. Well,
Blech.
it's funny because I interviewed my friend Joe from the Vandals. He knew I wouldn't ask a certain question, but everybody else was asking him it, so he brought it up during my interview. And he's like, "Yeah, don't ask me if the Vandals are going to write new music, because who wants to hear a bunch of 50-year-olds write rock songs?"
That's a fair point, but there's still things we could touch on at any age.
I think so, because there's other bands like I just interviewed at Riot Fest that had the exact opposite philosophy. So I think it all depends. I think there's plenty to write about nowadays. Like we certainly didn't since way back when. I don't think things have changed in a good direction to where there's nothing else for punk rock singers punk rock writers to write about.
I feel like it's a privilege to be in a position, and I mean this like in a sincere way. It's a privilege to be in the position to where you don't feel like you have a voice necessarily anymore. Yeah. Like that means like you got it good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like if you feel like you don't have something to like talk about or speak about, like you're not evolving, and like in a way that's like a privilege, but also like I feel like, I mean, none of us are young. Like I'm in my 30s. Some of us are just now like entering their 40s, and we're like not even peaked yet. Like we have so much to say still. We have like so much time on our hands, So the evolution is self-driven more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
See, I kind of went round circle. Like I had all that angst as a teenager, in my young 20s and early 30s. I kind of assimilated to society. And then I just came back to where I was in the beginning,
We
but
have a lot of things to have angst about these days.
No doubt. But the difference is now I have that angst with some brains too, that I may not have had when I was 16, so it's like a kind of different type of outlook that I think, I always say it makes you more of a well-balanced person. Like they talk about midlife crisis. I don't know why everything has to be a crisis. I think midlife is basically where you finally figure out who you really are, and you don't really give a crap what anybody else thinks. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. You combine that teenage you and that adult you to let them commingle in your life.
Yeah, I just call it life crisis.
Right.
It's all of it. It's all chaos.
It's all life. It's all
Yes.
chaos.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. And so tell us what else you may be having going on, like in November, that you might be announcing soon.
We are going to be going to Mexico for the first time ever. We were
Ooh,
supposed to go, yeah, very exciting. We were supposed to go right before the world shut down with COVID. And because we didn't know how serious it's going to be, like what's the scenario with this new virus. And we had a tour booked for Mexico. And then right when we got back, we were going to go to Texas area and start a tour with the Casualties.
nice.
And we were still like, we're going. Like, there's all this talk about the stuff in the world, and we don't know. Nothing's closed official yet. And then about like 2 days before we were supposed to start the drive to Tijuana, that's when the official like borders are closed. You can't go to any countries. For me, how I knew it was like a real thing, like stuff's really closed, is Disneyland closed, and it's
Yeah.
a capitalistic venture. The fact that they closed and they're going to lose millions of dollars, I was like, yep, tour's canceled. So we're coming back. Fuck yes. Does anybody have the cities to list off on hand? Let me see if I can find it. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll figure it out.
So let's talk more about your socials, your website, merch, how people can check all that stuff out. Because they have to buy your merch or they can't listen to my show, because that's the only way you get to the next gig. That's the only way you're getting to Mexico.
We're driven by greed.
Rules.
We love capitalism. We
Oh, yeah.
encourage it with buying our product. Everybody should have the Last Gang. If you get the Last Gang tattooed across your forehead, you get a free shirt every year for the rest of your life.
But not free shows. You still got to pay for that.
Only
Yeah.
one free shirt. It has to be like whatever we're lowest in stock on.
Only misprints.
Yeah, that too. We don't really get those. We have a good source for our printing thing.
I have a misprint shirt, okay, that I just bought for $50 at the last festival I covered at Louder Than Life. It was the second of 3 shows for Slayer, and the shirt has the 3 dates, and we got killed by the hurricane and Slayer didn't play. So now I'm going to like take a magic marker or Sharpie and like cross off that date on the shirt.
Nice. Classic.
So our dates for Mexico, segue, is we're going to do November 20th in Tecate, the 21st in Querétaro, the 22nd in Aguascalientes, 23rd in Guadalajara, and 24th in Mexico City. So only 5 dates. Make sure you fucking get out.
Nice. You know, you pronounce those cities like so perfectly.
We do live in Southern California.
I know.
Don't.
I can't even pronounce
She
them
still
that
did
well.
it pretty white. Well, like
I
we
did.
do
Oh,
it
that's so
passing.
white, yeah.
Yeah, we do it passing, but like, yeah, it's the California thing. I think.
Yeah.
I found out Charlie, my dog, one of my dog's name, his name's Charlie. I found out, I just Googled what is Charlie in Spanish, and it's Carlos. So that's his new name is Carlitos.
Yeah.
I'll also tell you,
Buen
here's
Mango.
the hint about Mexico. All the towns, basically, they're like, they have nicknames for the town.
Mm-hmm.
They come up with nicknames for the towns like it is their pets.
I'm gonna be excited to learn all of that, and we're getting taken around by our booking agent Renee. He's gonna be helping us through there, because none of us really speak Spanish. That's like the extent of it right there. So it's gonna be really fun. And we're really looking forward to it. Honestly, like I said, we didn't get to go before, and this is a wonderful makeup tour.
Oh, that'll
How are
definitely.
you
be
feeling
fun.
about it?
Hmm?
How are
How you feeling about it,
about
Sean?
Oh, it'll be interesting right after the election, so we'll see how all that is shaping up in the world.
You may not want to come back.
Maybe I'll come back. We'll see what happens. Yeah, kind of have the butterflies. Don't know exactly what it's going to be like. I know we won't have our own gear, but it's also the last 5 shows of the year, so there's that. And it won't be as long as some of our other tours, so it should fly right by.
There you go.
Yeah, these last
Hopefully we
since
don't
May.
eat like street cats or dog or something.
What's that?
So hopefully we don't eat like dog or something in like a taco.
Well,
Yeah,
you were not good. Yeah,
No, but I will tell you what they do eat. Okay,
I do
so
want to pet a dog, a street dog.
in January, like I was in Mexico in multiple places, but I was in Mexico City, and my head engineer, he's Mexican, so he says to me, he goes, "You need to eat this type of taco." I forget what he called it, but it was
Tripas,
basically
Stingua?
it was the ant larva or something like
Oh,
that. It was, and I'm like,
interesting.
no, I'm not eating that. And he's like, it's just like caviar. And I'm like, I don't like caviar either. And then they have the grasshopper tacos. Those I
Interesting.
heard are good, but I didn't try that one either.
I love
Who knows?
my biased, shitty, unknown opinion, thinking that they eat cats. What a terrible person.
Yeah,
I'm apologizing to the whole country of Mexico. I'm vegan, so that wouldn't even happen anyway.
I
think.
know. I was like, you don't even eat meat.
I know.
I'm
God,
very,
you just thought about what you said. You're like, fuck, that was
I was
stupid
like,
and
that
ignorant.
sounds kind of shitty. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
but
there's a
he's
lot
still
of street. There's a
sticking
lot of
to
street
that
meat.
story. He's still sticking to that
He is.
story, even though there's like
Oh, Jesus Christ.
nothing. I was surprised it didn't come up last night, to be honest.
Well, to be fair, for what you said, Sam, there is a lot of meat that we're not used to as Americans. Like, haven't heard a lot of the bugs. I heard a lot of bugs when it comes to like a lot of like Asian markets and stuff. Like my parents went to China, and there's a lot of crickets in a lot of street food. But like like tripas is intestine lining. Like
Oh yeah, they have that in the Philippines.
and then
Actually, there's a
yeah. So
place in LA, in Studio City, where I used to have a studio there. There's a place right there, like in the main part, that they sell. That restaurant has intestines. And I'm like,
yeah, it's a very common thing.
ew, I'm not eating that.
You can buy a market down the street
Yeah.
from my house. The
Oh,
carnivorous
well, there you go.
Yeah.
There-
Honestly,
Yeah,
brains and intestines.
we're gonna be the band that goes to Mexico with all this like delicious meat and tacos, and we're gonna be like, where is the closest vegetarian place, please? Like,
I know,
feel
right?
like-
There's actually good options in Mexico City, so I've heard.
yeah. Well, Mexico City, I've heard, is a really big, bustling, like culturally based town. So I'm
Oh, yeah.
excited to. We have we're gonna fly back after the last show, so we're gonna have one night in Mexico City where we're just gonna like be taken around and just get fucking wasted.
Oh,
No, I
and
don't
you
know.
could definitely do that there. Mexico
won't.
City kind of reminds me of New York, to be honest.
Oh,
we'll
I
walk
love New
around
York.
and stuff safely, but
But not 10 miles again. That was ridiculous.
no, I'm trying to like sleep as much as possible.
Yeah.
We're a
Our last
sleepy
tour,
band.
we had a day off with our Bottle Rocket tour, and the day off we went to Manhattan, which we love. But we were taken over by our excitement because we did about 9.5 miles of walking that whole day, and that was like the middle of tour, and my feet hurt, and everything's hurt. I was tired, and then we had to play a show the next day, and
So it was
yeah,
brutal.
days off are going to be jacuzzi or bath in
Bed.
South Park.
There's
Bed.
no days off in Mexico. We just go straight through and we're done.
That's true.
And it is safe being vegetarian or vegan, because I do have a couple funny stories in that realm. One is my bro got married in Sweden, and I was married at the time. And my ex was eating the meat at the reception. I'm like, and I knew what it was. And I'm like, is that good? She's
Deer?
like, yeah. She's like, yeah.
Elk?
And I'm like, you're eating Rudolph. She's like, what are you talking about?
It
I'm
was
like, that's
reindeer.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. She's like, get the fuck out of here. There's no such thing as reindeer. I'm like, Ing's parents are reindeer farmers. That
Did
is
she
reindeer.
really think reindeer were
She
made up
she
creatures like
really
unicorns
did.
and dragons?
She really did. That was so
Oh.
funny.
Oh, as
And-
the Midwest would say, bless her.
I know, right? And the look on her face when she found out that it was reindeer, and I was like, yeah, enjoy
They
that
don't
meat.
fly, but they do exist.
Say that again.
So they don't fly, but they do exist.
They do exist. Maybe she thinks now that she knows they're real. She probably thinks the real ones fly.
Maybe.
We have I'm in Florida. We have cockroaches that fly, and they're about 3 inches long. So
Yeah, that's Florida. Has some interesting things.
yeah, that's a scary thing. Now, my son, he did 2 tours in South Korea, and again, safe time to be a vegetarian or a vegan because he ordered something off the menu that was 1 letter off of what he wanted, so he ordered the wrong thing, and it was dog.
Yikes.
Yeah. So
I mean,
So-
for what it's worth,
All
if you're
meat's
gonna
weird.
eat any animal, like there should be no bias to that. So,
Yeah,
What,
you're
like
I know
Dennis
he wasn't
Reynolds,
trying
and it's always sunny.
say that again. So we say what?
Oh, like Dennis Reynolds, and it's always sunny. He just went.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You want to take? I can't eat dog, but you can eat a cow. It's just
Right.
He's also a sociopath character who has.
It is true
It's a
when you
mind-
think about it.
Yeah.
You made a good point there. Like if you're gonna eat an animal, does it really matter which animal it is?
yeah.
They pick cows because cows have a lot more to offer, right?
True.
They're easier to harvest.
But man, there's a lot of dogs out there.
There's a lot of dogs, and some people like to harvest them.
Ugh.
Well, it does look good when you're in Mexico or someplace like that where they're all roaming the streets. It just means, oh, good, they're not eating the dogs here. They're all around.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So meanwhile, back at the farm, we're gonna go play a punk rock show at one of the final NOFX shows, and that is super freaking exciting.
Yes.
You guys are gonna kill it, and everybody needs to go out and get Obscene Daydreams. And no, we don't mean that. You need to buy the
A
album.
bunch of drugs and fucking walk around and
Or do
Yeah.
drugs and walk around.
we.
Get
There
it,
you go.
you can get it at fatrec.com. You can get our merch. Just go to our website, thelastgang.com, and it takes you to where you can buy our merch. There's Stupid Rad merch here in the States and through T-Mom merch in Europe and the UK.
Nice.
Well, we're also playing a record release gig locally on the 12th of October,
And what will we have there, Sam?
we'll have records for sale. We'll also have tapes, exclusive tapes.
Ooh,
We're doing a limited,
Yes.
and then we're also doing limited T-shirts, which is pretty cool.
I
So-
love that. We need
Very limited.
to start the tape trading days again. Get rid of Spotify and start the tape trading
It's
days.
a local thing that's kind of going on, so I got like a local friend to make them, and they look really cool. So
That's very cool. A lot of bands during COVID, when you had the vinyl shortage, were making cassettes.
Yep.
And I thought that was so cool.
yeah,
They really need to make it. You guys need to make an 8-track.
Oh, wow. I don't even
How
know
tr-
what an HI player is.
I know, right? I wish I
also,
still.
I'll be giving away gold vinyl. We have 2 gold vinyl that I'm just gonna give away to people that.
Oh,
come.
yeah.
Nice.
That'll be cool, and the show's free, so people don't have an excuse to miss it.
Mm-hmm.
They better
Not
not miss it. They better not miss it. Is there anything else you guys want to tell them that you got coming up that we haven't covered already?
Oh, the else.
Punk Rock Food Drive.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. We haven't announced that yet, but it's November 9th.
Side or
We did. We announced it.
Oh, we did, yes. Oh, that's right. Yeah, the flyer, the pink and green. So, yeah, we have a couple days, October 4th, NOFX last show ever. Mexico run starting in November 20th for 5 dates. And November 9th for the Punk Rock Food Drive. And October 12th, none of these are in order, for our record release day.
Dad.
I went backwards.
This
Backwards.
one.
then.
We need you guys to come to
I'm a time
South
traveler.
Florida where we have punk rock flea markets where bands play.
Yeah, there's one in
We-
Nevada that we did like a brief show for.
Mhm.
Oh,
That'd
that's
be
cool.
I mean, we're booking next year, so hopefully we route through.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I love Florida.
So-
Florida's wild, man.
yeah, we played in Florida once.
Yeah, just for the Punk and Drublic, that was it.
Yeah.
We haven't
And
had a
we're-
chance to get routed out there. It's really hard.
Well, if you come
Yeah.
down by me, I'm like 15 minutes from Trump. We can go like play a punk rock show in front of Mar-a-Lago or something.
Mm. Is he gonna be there though?
No, we can't, we won't allow him to be there.
I'll just
Why?
buy those. I just want to
that.
buy his gold shoes and wear them and just.
Yeah, I want to know like how he gets his hair to look like that.
Yeah.
Well, it's a lot of work, probably, right? He's got to go to the store and get
No,
that
my hair's
bad
big, so
wig.
I want to know what he does.
Yeah, let's write him. Tell him you'll vote for him if he gives you his hair secrets.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not gonna do that. We're not gonna get that crazy.
Yeah, no, let's not.
How about we say we did, but we didn't? Let's just do none of this.
Yeah, Florida's definitely the place where I've seen some weird ass people, and I like it.
It's wild.
I live on an island, so I just look over at the crazy people. They're not near me, and I kind of avoid them at all costs.
Did you get hit hard by a hurricane?
The alligators, I think, are more they're more friendly. I can tell you that. That's all I'm gonna say. But let's go see you guys at Pumpkin Drublic, the last NOFX show in San Pedro. Everybody get the album. Check out the Mexico tour. Everybody's let's all, for after the election, leave the United States and go on your tour with you guys. That's what I want to do.
Let's see some shows, get some art, and then come back and try to make this shit better.
Absolutely. Let's do it. Thanks a lot, guys, and thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipeman.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.